Passing the open guard is one of the most complicated things in jiu-jitsu because there's so many different variations of guard. So it's really important to have strong systems that you can force your opponent into so you don't have to memorize so many different passing positions. For this video, I'm going to show, in my opinion, one of the most effective positions for forcing on your opponent so that they can't get out and you can impose your passing game. And as always, if you guys like the content, like and leave a comment to help support the channel. All right, so the first part of this is going to be the setup. So the first thing we're looking for is I want to pin my opponent's leg down on one side here. If he's in a center position and his arms are on the outside, that can be hard because he kind of gets stuck here. So a lot of times he'll start circling around and he'll start framing or he'll start turning towards the side I'm passing, and that's going to make it easy to get. From here, I'm going to control the top ankle or pant leg, depending on how long their pants are, and I'm going to drop my shin to pin this bottom leg. Once I pin this bottom leg, he cannot rotate back to the other side. Instead of going all the way through for the knee cut pass first, he gets a lot more movement. By going here, I kind of lock him in and pin him. The problem here is that he can start using this knee shield to push away and create space. So the way we deal with this is early on, as soon as I land, I want to catch this lapel and I want to pull this as tight as I possibly can. When I pull this really tight, for him to really extend this knee shield, go ahead and extend it. See how far away from him I am? He has to be far away from his leg and extend his upper body to create distance with his shield. So when I get in tight here and I pull tight early, now use your knee shield, it's very hard to use the knee shield. And even if I don't pass him here, this is just a very difficult position to get out of. So I land in here, I lock in, I pull tight, and I get control from here first. All right, so once we've locked our opponent in this position, we have them pulled in tight, we have a great base control. From here, often what he's gonna try to do is he's gonna try to use this shield to press me out of the position. So when I'm really tight, he can't really do that effectively, but as he does this, it makes it really easy to push this behind me. Once I push this behind me, now I can come back in front of it and I can start grabbing his low back here, I can frame on the ribs, or start grabbing the lapel. From here, I can start progressing to actually finish a traditional knee cut pass, but the benefit is there's no chance for him to lasso or to loop the outside leg in, because when I land in this initial position, he can't lasso or throw the top leg over to defend because I have control. And once I clear this behind and I get in front of it, he also can't bring this back up because I'm already in the way. So from here, there's different variations of finishing on the knee cut. If he hasn't locked my leg in half guard, a lot of times I'll grab the lapel or frame the shoulder. I grab the elbow or the sleeve, and I want to put both shoulder blades to the flat as I slide through here. If he locks this foot in tight like this and he turns in, usually what I do is I try to use my knee to center him up more first, and I've done an entire video on this before. I grab the cross collar, I use the forearm in the face, lean my pressure in, and cut through and pass there. So another common pattern here is once I come in and I grab this lapel and pull, some people are gonna try to break this by double gripping. If you're in really tight early, it's very hard to do that, but sometimes you get in a little bit and he goes for it. When he does this, I'm gonna use this to catch his sleeve. Once I get the sleeve, now I can pull his shoulders more flat, I eliminate his frame, and I can continue with the same method, just instead of the lapel, it's his sleeve. Once I clear this behind, I already have the sleeve. My right arm can now pummel up to the shoulder, control, and slide through to finish the pass. So the last component of this pass system is, of course, as I enter, I want to try to land and catch this lapel quick and pull him in tight. That's what makes it work best. But sometimes you're going to come in, you're going to get this grip, and before you can get in really tight, he establishes a much stronger knee shield. And what he wants to do is when he gets you really far away with the knee shield, he wants to bring this bottom leg out. But the thing is, as he extends this shield, it gets further away from his body and it becomes easier for me to push back and pin towards the floor, right? What's going to happen here is he starts to shield really hard and he gets this out, but I push this back. So now, even though this leg is out, I keep control of the lapel with my left hand. See, try to bring this leg back up. He cannot bring this back up. So it becomes really easy to make a jump over to this side, and now I can continue to pass towards this side. So some closing thoughts about the position. This is one of the most powerful ways to force a pass on an opponent playing open guard, in my opinion, but still there's a lot of other things that can happen as I enter. So if I approach and my opponent stays dead center and I'm trying to force this, it can be really hard. He might get reverse de la Hiva, or I might just not be able to pin the leg to the floor. So it's important to have multiple threats. So I use Toriandos and all sorts of things like leg drags and those threats, but when you understand the pattern, and as long as he doesn't make a good grip on you, he can't really do anything, you can kind of play in and out, start making grips. You can kind of play in and out, make different threats and stuff until you see an angle where a leg drops like this, and it can drop into the position and start using it. So ideally you want to develop multiple weapons like this that you can lock someone in, but understand you can't always just force this one. Also guys, if you really like the content and you want to help support the channel, I have a separate section on my website now called the John Thomas Lab with a lot more in-depth videos like this as well. So if you're interested in that, be sure to check out the link in the description. And as always, if you like the content, like, share, subscribe. Thanks a lot.